I did not think it could get any worse. But when you find out what Kidpool, also Blake and Ryan's 7-year-old daughter, was supposed to say to her father in Deadpool, you are going to be outraged. Guys, the saga continues. I am absolutely disgusted to my core about what I just found out. I posted it to my X account. Again, I always say if you guys are not following me on X, my name there is Real Melanie King. The link will be in the description box below. But if you're watching this on YouTube. But so I posted this. Actually, let me go back to what I originally posted. Okay. So I came across this picture, this very sus picture of Hugh Jackman, Sean Levy, and Ryan Reynolds. If you don't know, of course, you know that Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool, Hugh Jackman is Wolverine, and in the middle there's Sean Levy, who is the director. And he is actually the godfather of one of their son, their newborn son, or I don't know how he's, probably 1 or 2 now, of Ryan and Blake's son. He's the godfather. And so, essentially when you're godfather of one child, it's like you're the godfather to all children. So, and they consider Hugh Jackman like the children's uncle. And Hugh Jackman even lived with Blake and Ryan. I don't know if he still does. But so these 3 men, okay, I'm going to read you what I put. These 3 men, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, these 3 men, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds' 7-year-old daughter trusted the most, groomed her to say, when I want your opinion, I'll take Wolverine's D out your mouth. She didn't want to do it and was made to say this and other sexually explicit lines 500 times. Forced to describe a sex act between her father, Ryan, and her uncle, Hugh Jackman, while directed by her godfather, Sean Levy. Disgusting depravity and trauma inflicted on a young girl by predatory grown men that Disney and Marvel celebrated and promoted. There are no words. So I posted this and I followed up. No, not like that. That's the one I'm about to get to. I followed up and I said, and Ryan dares say that he's the man Justin Baldoni pretends to be. Okay, sis, but you're obsessed to be him. You're so obsessed to be him, you create a whole character in your movie so you can cosplay like a little fanboy. Then I also said, and if I hear one more grooming apologist say all kids talk like that, or I said worse as a kid, that's reflective of the environment you grew up in. I don't know anyone whose child knows what that is, let alone say it at 7, and especially little girls. There is something very wrong in your household and childhood if this was normalized. Okay, and I have another thing I'm going to report that I posted in there as well. But then somebody hit me up and said, you got to look at what Elsrich just posted. So Elsrich, I will link her below, her TikTok and her X account. I think she may be on YouTube as well. So I'll try to post all of her socials below. She's doing amazing investigative work. And I like to shout out creators when I find, content from them or they unearth a receipt so that I can bring it to you guys. But I definitely want to give credit to the original person who finds that. So thank you, Elsrich, for finding this. I'm going to play this for you, and then we're going to continue with this. It is just prepared. I'm still kind of a little bit in shock. Let me make this a little bit smaller so you can see the whole thing.
Would you believe me if I told you that according to this Deadpool script, the disgusting lines Kidpool said that's going viral was actually the best option available? And I know you're wondering, Elsie, what the fuck does that even mean? It's either Kidpool says,
"Hey, when I want your opinion, I'll take Wolverine's dick out of your mouth,"
or she says, hey, when we want your opinion, I'll take my panini out of your mouth. Well, what the fuck? Inez is a girl. Inez is 7 years old. Inez is a child. Inez is your child. Why would you write a line that says your child will take her panini out of your mouth? She doesn't even have a panini, number one. Number two, that's a child. your child, and you coached her to say this? And then you were like, maybe this doesn't work, so we're gonna go with another route of she's gonna take Wolverine's panini out of your mouth. How was this allowed? And Disney, y'all got the script out for the world to see? Y'all just not scared, huh? Well, one of our amazing associates reached out to me and said, do you know what the actual line for Kid Pool was supposed to be? And I said, no, what? And again, I never thought it could be worse than that. So I said, no, what was it going to be? They sent me the screenshot. I thought it was AI. I thought it was a joke. So I went and did my own research. And lo and behold, they're not even hiding it, because all you have to do if you want to see it for yourself is go to Disney.com, assets.debut.disney.com. The script is out for the world to see. Seriously, if there are any lawyers in the house, let me know. Am I able to sue Sherry Panini and Ryan Reynolds? Am I able to sue them for what they did to this child? Please let me know.
And she's not talking about suing so she gets money, but on behalf of her, like a guardian ad litem, because to me, this is absolute outright child abuse. So my post and what I said, and I'm going to actually show you guys the script in a second.
Would you believe me if I told you?
Oh, let me pause that. It says, I put, dear God, the original line Ryan Reynolds wanted his 7-year-old daughter to say in Deadpool is reported to be, when I want your opinion, I'll take my ussy out of your mouth. She says this to her own father. Now, because she's a girl, I originally interpreted as, female parts, but the script actually says D as well. But it's the same thing. It's describing a sexual act between the child and their own father. This is what she's had to say. Okay, over and over and over again. If you guys remember that, I'll play that in a second for people who have not seen it. I am horrified. Is this not outright child abuse? This is one of the lines she was made to repeat 70 to 500 times. There needs to be a complete investigation. What is going on in Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds' home? And I added Disney Studios and Marvel Studios. And then I thanked Elsrich for bringing that to our attention. So I actually went in and got the script. I will post a link. Hopefully I can, because it was hard for me to do it. I couldn't, it was like I had to, hopefully if I can post it, then I will in the description box below if you guys want to see it for yourself. But if you go in and you see, and just so you know, this child also says the F word in this movie. That's like the other line the child has. That's big. And people keep saying it was like my best part. That was like the part I loved the most. Okay. Groomer. Abuser, really. So here it is. It says Wolverine says, oh gosh. I say gosh because I don't want to say it here, because when I said dear God, I literally mean God. Deadpool, all right, look guys, Deadpool Prime here. Our fight isn't with you. Then Kidpool says, hey, when we want your opinion, I'll take my D out of your mouth. You can insert female genitalia there. But keep in mind, this is Ryan and Blake's 7-year-old child right here, Kidpool. Okay. That is their 7-year-old daughter who is saying this. We actually need to find out, was she 7 or was she 6? I mean, it makes no difference, but I still just want for accuracy. And it's just so amazing that they're talking about Justin Baldoni said that Blake something looks sexy, where he actually is literally using the same line that she uses to describe, because she was feeling uncomfortable with herself and she kept talking about everything was sexy. She wants this to be sexy and that to be sexy. And so he adopted her own language. He even used the word sparkle sometimes. And he said, hey, to build up her confidence. No, it looks sexy, trying to build her up her confidence, because this is what she kept saying. For her saying that she experienced this crippling sexual harassment, to which there were no claims, to which is a bunch of BS made up so that she can control the movie that was not hers, because she's too incompetent, too dumb to actually produce her own film. So she tried to steal and hijack this from Justin Baldoni and tried to use these harassment claims as leverage over him to silence him, and thinking that she could team up with the New York Times to make this public when she didn't finally get her way, when she was getting backlash for being just tone deaf and irritated and just a horrible human being that everyone could see during the press tour and past interviews. This was her own doing. There was no campaign against her, smear campaign. It was organic because we're adults who have eyes and ears and we can make reasonable judgments as to who you really are, Blake. So she has the nerve to be talking about this and making these claims of sexual harassment when her own child is being groomed, sexually coerced, having to say this type of language to her own father. And keep in mind, let's go back to the original video that they were so proud of.
Guy.
Our fight isn't with
Hey,
you.
when I want your opinion, I'll take Wolverine's dick out of your mouth.
That's kid.
Guiltily, that is my daughter,
I'm
Inez.
so sorry we have to admit that.
And I am Father of the Year over here for allowing her to say such language, which, to her credit, she really didn't want to say. And then came back later and said, I want to say it now, when I started looking at other people to play
Yeah,
it.
but Ryan, to our discredit, we made Nezzy do I'm not shitting you 70 to 500 versions
Yeah.
of that line.
I'm going to pay for that later.
Blake Lively there.
Yes, you are. How in the world could they allow this to happen? Disney. And this movie is right now on Disney Plus. While they took off one of Justin Baldoni's films off of Disney Plus, they have this on there for children, for the world to consume. And this child is using this gratuitous language describing a sex act between her and her own father. How many other iterations of this line were there? Because he said 70 to 500. That's a huge range, right? Like 70 to 500. I've never even heard of anyone having to practice a line that short, that many times. But he's saying there's different versions. Where are the different versions? That's what we need to know. And then in another clip I had played you guys previously, where Ryan Reynolds is on stage at the Deadpool Wolverine premiere in New York City, and he's standing on stage and he's talking about how his kids are there to watch this degenerate movie, this disgusting movie that's constantly using homophobic jokes. It is, if you nonstop gay jokes. It's like they are the worst writers in the world. Instead of actually using real humor, it's just like, oh, okay, let's just insert the most homophobic thing we can say, and that'll be funny. That's how juvenile they are. And I don't even want to discredit, kids and say this is juvenile. I don't know anyone who would think and speak and do these things that you see in this movie. So he's allowing his children to watch this. And he says, hopefully this is the most traumatic thing that ever happens in their life while his kids are there. Thanks, Blake. And remember, he said that he listens to the women in his life, that he's man enough to listen to them. So clearly, Blake participated in this. She was happy about this. She celebrated this. Disney, Marvel, everyone, all of these actors, writers, crew, everyone on this movie thought this was great for this little girl to do this over and over and over and over again. And she didn't want to. Because the original line is, I'll take my genitalia out of your mouth, daddy. While her godfather is directing her, while her uncle, Hugh Jackman, is there, while you have everyone else there, all the different people involved. Her mother has participated in this and approved this for her to do it. The studio executives, lawyers, everybody thought that this was great. Who was looking out for this child while they profited off of this depravity? This, what I believe, is abuse. How could you? I just cannot imagine as a parent. Even this wouldn't even come to my mind. Like, there's so many other lines that could be said and done. What are you talking about? How could you allow this to take place? Who even thinks in this way? You know how many times they went over this script? You know how many times this went through lawyers and went through Disney and had to pass through their legal department and had to pass, like that. We are talking about an entire organization working together, and not a single soul said no. They all said, yes, we want that child. We want your daughter to say this gratuitous sexual line over and over and over and over. I'm going to use the high range 500 times. Who knows? It could be more than that. And some people say, oh, he was just, exaggerating. Was he? Does this sound like exaggeration? It sounds like they were proud of doing this. Am I wrong?
Do I
say such language, which
Wolverines.
it would have low bone density.
And just so you know, the low bone density is a dig, once again, at Justin Baldoni.
Deadpool Prime here.
Poor guy.
Our fight isn't with
Hey,
you.
when I want your opinion, I'll take Wolverine's dick out of your mouth.
That's kid.
Guiltily, that is my daughter,
I'm
Inez.
so sorry we have to admit that.
And I am Father of the Year over here for allowing her to say such language, which, to her credit, she really didn't want to say. And then came back later and said, I want to say it now, when I started looking at other people to play
Yeah,
it.
but Ryan, to our discredit, we made Nezzy do I'm not shitting you 70 to 500 versions
Yeah.
of that line.
I'm going to pay for that later.
Blake Lively there as Lady Pool, Lady
Matthew
Deadpool.
McConaughey.
Did that sound like a joke? They're giving commentary on the movie. They're dubbing over it. They're like in a room doing a voiceover talking about what was happening behind the scenes. They're not making things up. They're not exaggerating. Maybe that's just the way he speaks about things, 75 to 500. Let's meet it in the middle. Let's say 300. Huh? I don't care how many times. One time was more than enough. So guys, leave a comment. Let me know what you think about this. I don't even know. Like every day we find out more about these people, and I am just disgust with just I strive to be disgusted by them. That would be a upgrade for what I feel about them. This is horrific. I justice for Inez. Justice for Inez, because this is appalling. But with that, guys, make sure you are subscribed and hit the notification bell. You're not going to miss any of my updates. And with that, I will see you guys on the next one.